like 4 pages long too, so it's pretty long. All right. Okay. Oh, and I forgot. We're gonna be taking a selfie because we didn't get to that 1-5 thing, the football field. So for that, I followed. I don't know what that is. Oh, here it is. All right. Okay. Now we'll start. And I hope it doesn't fall off because I don't have money. Because I'm going to college and I'm going to be in debt for the rest of my life because the American education system is so expensive. Oh, great! Fantastic. Okay. Heelys. A freshman by the name of Lucas was very adamant about me starting with that because he's really adamant about bringing them back, so I thought I'd just start with that. I also hear that it's DJ Cruz and Colin Darnell's birthday today, so I want to wish them a happy birthday. So happy birthday. Parth Patel, District 158 graduation ceremony, 30 May 2015. See what I did there? 1 point for Emily formatting. You like that, right, Mrs. Hewitt? Yeah. You know, I look out at this crowd and I know like most of you I've seen, most of you have been in my classes, but then there's some of you I literally haven't ever seen in my entire life. For example, you. What's your name? Yeah, you, yeah. Emily. Oh, hi, Emily. I'm Parth. Nice to meet you today. So what are you doing here today? Oh, girl, same! I'm also graduating. Look at that. It's gonna be fantastic. All right, so as I was saying before, Emily interrupted me. And we're gonna take a selfie, and then I promise we'll get to the speech because it's really, really long. That'll be on Twitter tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just gonna say. All right. I see no one is wearing their ID cards today at SMH. Ladies and gentlemen, that's plastic behavior. We sit here when we should be ashamed of ourselves. No other class has stunk as much as we have. I'm truly disappointed in all of you. I mean, oh wait, this isn't my speech. Oh, okay, I get it. It seems as though the valedictorian from Jacobs High School has left his speech here. Sorry about that. Hashtag thanks, Jacobs. Like 10 times better than them anyway, so they needed to get something. Here we are, graduating from the greatest high school in healthy Illinois. Ladies and gentlemen, academic adjudicators, deans, faculty, administrators, friends, esteemed guests, and the rest of you, I would like to welcome you on behalf of the class to the graduation of the greatest class to ever grace the face of this planet, the class of 2015. A lot has changed in the past 4 years. For example, Sharky's hair has turned from long to short and from black to gray. Our swag, no, she said it was okay, I can say that, so it's okay, all right? Our swag has gone from a lot to a lot, so I guess that really hasn't changed. I become swole. The majority of us have spent 12 long years together. 12 long, painful, horrendous years. Deanna Heck suggested I share a story about Emily Aldridge to highlight this, seeing as though Emily thought that Abraham Lincoln was the first president of the United States. This is what she gets for not following me back on Twitter, but in her defense, she was a junior. Shout out to Neil Minyar for being trill. Shout out to Mrs. Wheeler for being pregnant the 2 years that I had her. Shout out to Mr. Schmidt for going on maternity leave the 2 years that I had him. Shout out to the announcement staff this year. Delaney Lyman, Andriana Martinez, Brendan Bosch, and I would like to remind all staff, should they submit an announcement, it better be grammatically revised. English jokes are great, right? You love it? Fantastic. All for you, Mrs. Hewlett, it's all for you. But for those of you in the audience who call Huntley your alma mater, I'm telling you, you ain't got nothing on us. We gave the term Gucci a whole other meaning. And with that, I would like to start off with a quotation from esteemed philosopher, pop artist, and avant-garde poet, Nicki Minaj. Hopefully, there ain't nobody iller than us. I could go on, but I digress. And I also realize that I probably shouldn't be saying 8, in the name of academic triumph, but whatever. We, the class of 2015, we have finally made it. Without further ado, let's begin. I'd like to thank all my wonderful teachers, my mama bear, my papa bear, the sister, the grandparents, the fam, especially my little cousin EJ, and perhaps most importantly, all of you, my fellow classmates. I would also like to say thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak, Mr. Rowe. I'm 100% sure you're going to regret it. I'm going to goof off. And I really tried and hard advice. I put the fun in fundamentally incapable. Let me be blunt. There's going to be little advice in the speech. I would also like to voice a complaint on behalf of the entire student body. Friday, January 9th of 2015 should have been a snow day, Dr. Berkey, I'm just saying. The level of saltiness and sass that day was pretty high, so it detracted from the overall learning experience. Speaking of which, I'd like to extend a special thank you to Stephanie Kaminiak, our student council president, for teaching me how to be salty and sassy. I mean, I really don't know what to say. There's probably millions of people who are better looking, older, wiser, cooler, swaggier, and awesomer than I am. Plus, half of you are probably older than me, so you people should probably be giving me some advice. So I guess I'll try to say something. Graduating means giving back to the community that we are blessed to have given us so much. Whether you want to be a chemist, a lawyer, an engineer, a teacher, a serviceman or woman to our country, a professional football player, or if your parents are arduously persuading you to be a doctor like mine are, seriously though, I go home and I'm like, I had pineapple for lunch, and they're like, that's great, but how does that relate to career medicine? Just be daring in any adventure you take. People were all like, woo, we're done, and personally, I didn't really care. It kind of just happened, but now that I'm up here, it's kind of hitting me, all this vested emotion. People sometimes say that only high school stinks, and at moments it does tend to, but the statistics don't lie. And it says that you'll never see 90% of the people you go to high school with. Well, that's like you won't see 90% of the people you spent your childhood with. You won't see 90% of the people that saw you through the best of times and the worst of times in your life thus far. No more Kishmae pencils, no more weirdly pitched bells, no more Saturday night bonfires, drive-ins, homecoming football games, that's it. 90% of your childhood will be in your memories now and will live on there forever, but that just makes this all more real. And also remember that just as Lilo told Stitch and Stitch reciprocated towards Lilo, Ohana means family. And we are all part of this one big dysfunctional family. A family that will never fail to support each other no matter what route we individually all take. Because for at least 90% of the past, we have. Our 43rd president, George W. Bush, asked a very important question during his presidency that clearly reflects on the American education system. He asked, rarely is the question asked, is our children learning? I can assure you, here at Pelham High School, our children is learning. Learning quite good too, Mr. Bush. Our children has bright futures here. After this ceremony, some of us will be going far away, others to protect our country, or some will be hugging close to home. But let us share the fact that Huntley will be our home. I mean, we grew up here. We're kind of attached to this place, stuck between corn cob and tractor. Regardless of what happens, as my boy W. Clement Stone once said, always aim for the moon, and even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. Other speeches often say we are moving on to the next chapter, but life doesn't go by as slowly as a book. It's more like a race car. This is what happens when you're writing a speech at 12 in the morning. You run out of words and quality metaphors. So remember this quotation as we turn on to the next expressway in our life. In traffic, the cars may move on, but the roads will stay the same. And similarly in life, the people move on, but you won't always be you. So never be afraid to be yourself and find out what you can do. Because if you don't chill out, you'll burn out. Anyway, these past 4 years should not have been the best 4 years of your life. Like seriously, Scantron, school traffic, and Mr. Farlick asking you to serve in detention hours has been the best 4 years of your life. I'm telling you, you have done something wrong. But turning the tassel today isn't going to mean anything if you don't do anything with it. I only challenge you to leave the Sears Center, which, by the way, should we start calling the Willis Center now? Because the Sears Tower thing, and I don't know about you, but it ain't gonna be Willis in my heart, ever. But above all, make the best memories you've had so that if the memories in the past 4 years were a table, it would break under the weight of the new memories you will make. What really makes no sense to me is that the person who has good grades is awarded by public speaking, which, by the way, is the #1 fear worldwide. Death is #2, followed by disease, classical, and the AP US History exam. In all reality, it seems kind of ridiculous. The world is a big place that only gets smaller once we realize our potential, and for all of us, that potential is unlimited. But maybe I spoke too soon. It's almost done, I promise, okay? But maybe I spoke too soon. I mean, our class did hold the Mr. HHS title for 2 years in a row, which no other class has done. Not to mention the fact that we've won countless conference championships, regional championships, and sectional championships. I did a girls soccer team yesterday. Yeah. The only championship that we did not win was the championship of failure, because that went to our rivals. Yeah, I got no chill, I was savage. We must realize that to continue the ample success we've had in high school, we must also be daring. Even McDonald's dared to create the McDouble, serving up not 1, but 2 beef patties in a daring act of defiance against the original hamburger. Success has always been and will always be about daring. So class of 2015, always dare to dream. Before I leave, instead of giving advice, I want to give you some challenges. #1, define that specific dream. #2, achieve that dream and bathe yourself in it. #3, perhaps most importantly, if you cannot achieve that dream, never give up. I hear that MTV is always ready to help, or just marry Kardashian. #4, don't spend the next however many years of your life learning something to fulfill someone else's expectations. Find out what you are good at and love, and if you can find a way to get paid for it and go ham on it, then do it. And #5, make your life not just about yourself, but about self-sacrifice and helping others fulfill their goals. Think about this, you're on your own from this point forward. But don't be afraid, you're on the verge of perhaps one of the greatest experiences you'll ever have in life. I can't really end speeches without being really awkward, so I'll just end it like an essay I wrote freshman year. And before I say it, let me tell you that those were dark times. So here we go. So Harper Lee shows us that killing a mockingbird is the same as killing a blue jay. One is a sin while the other is still a sin. So in reality, we cannot kill birds at all. For those of you who are wondering, the question for that essay was, what is the angle measure of angle C in quadrilateral bird? I was a poor, confused child back then. This has been Parth Patel, Dean of Students, A through K. He will always be A through K for us. 10 through 12, here with another friendly reminder. Remember, Raiders at heart, every day is a day to be your best. Be the Raider. Be respectful, be responsible, and be involved, but never forget to be yourself. If possible, please follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @IndianParthenon. I will love you forever if you follow me. Always express your own ideas, your own opinions, and even if it takes embarrassing yourself on stage in front of what seems like a million people, a chance that will probably never come up again in your life. Let your inner identity blossom and don't conceal it instead. Thank you and have a super duper Saturday and a wonderfully blissful rest of your life. Good luck, class of 2015, although if you follow your heart and let your passion grow, I doubt you'll really love to be successful. Keep it real, because there ain't nobody iller than us.